The knock on our door was not normal. It was not polite. It was not hello. It was the kind of knock that says, I own what's behind this wood. Bam, bam, bam. My heart jumped like it wanted to run away without me. I froze in the hallway with my bare feet on cold floorboards, holding my breath, because I already knew who it was, and I already knew why he came. Outside, the wind pushed dust across the porch like a warning, then a voice, low and flat, like a shovel hitting dirt. I'd open up. Not please, not ma'am, just open up. I swallowed hard. My mouth felt dry, like I had been eating sand. Behind me, the house made little sounds, old wood popping, a loose window tapping, and somewhere in the back room, my father coughed, a weak cough, the kind that tries to sound strong and fails. I whispered, no, no, not today. But the knock came again. Bam, bam. My fingers shook as I reached for the latch. Then I stopped. Wait, what if I don't open? What if I pretend no one is home? But the man outside laughed once, just once, like he could hear my thoughts. I can stand here all night, he said, but you'll open eventually. He sounded patient. That scared me more, because cruel men who are in a hurry can be bargained with. But cruel men who are calm, they don't bargain. They take. If you are new on my channel, please like this video and comment where you are listening from. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification icon so that you will be the first to be notified anytime I drop a new story. Let's continue. My hand finally lifted the latch. The door swung open, and there he was, tall, wide shoulders, dark coat dusted with dirt, a gun on his hip that looked too comfortable there, like it belonged. His face was hard, like it was carved from stone, and his eyes, oh, his eyes were the worst, not angry, not happy, just watching. Like a hawk watches a mouse, he tipped his hat a tiny bit, not friendly, just enough to say, I know how to be polite. I just don't feel like it. Lena Hart, he said. He said my name like he owned it. I tried to stand tall, but my knees felt soft. Yes, I managed. He pulled out a folded paper from inside his coat. He didn't wave it around. He didn't shout. He simply held it up between us like a blade. Your father, he said, owes money. I felt my stomach sink. I didn't need to hear the rest, but he said it anyway. Owes a lot, and the time is done. I stared at the paper like staring could change the words. I wanted to say, we'll pay. I wanted to say, give us time. I wanted to say, he's sick. But something in his eyes told me. He didn't care about time. He didn't care about sickness. He cared about one thing, payment. He took one step closer. The porch boards creaked under his boots. Sloan Mercer, he said, like introducing himself was a rule he followed for fun. You're bounty hunter. I knew that name. People whispered it in town like it was bad luck. Sloan Mercer, the man who finds what's hiding, the man who brings men back in chains, the man who never leaves empty-handed. I pulled my sweater tighter around my body. The wind made it flutter like a frightened bird. He looked past me into the house. Is he home? He asked. My throat tightened, because if he went inside, if he saw my father, if he touched him, I didn't know what I would do. I lied. I didn't know. He stared at me, just stared. I could feel my face getting hot. My lie was a small, weak candle in a storm. Then he said softly, "Don't lie to me." I almost flinched, not because he shouted, because he didn't. He said it like a fact, like, "Don't try to stop the rain." My eyes watered, but I forced them not to fall. A storyteller would tell you I was brave. But truth? I was terrified. Then my father's cough echoed again from the back room. Sloane's eyes flicked toward the sound. He smiled, not with his mouth, with his certainty. "There he is," he said, and he started to step inside. My body moved before my brain did. I shoved my arm across the doorway. "Stop." My voice came out sharper than I expected. Sloane paused. Slowly he looked down at my arm like it was a rope in his way. Then he looked back at my face. "You want to block me?" he asked. I wanted to say no, but I couldn't let him in. Not like this. Not when my father was weak and ashamed and shaking in bed. I swallowed. "I want to talk." He raised an eyebrow. "Talk," he repeated, like the word amused him. "Yes," I said quickly. "Out here, not inside." The wind blew harder. Dust swirled between us. Sloane's coat moved like a dark shadow. He leaned slightly forward, close enough that I could smell leather and smoke and cold air on him. "Talk," he said again. "Fine." His eyes narrowed. "But I don't do long talks." My heart pounded. "Okay, Lena, think. Think fast." I stepped onto the porch, and keeping my arm behind me to block the door, like my small arm could stop a storm. Sloane glanced at the land around the house, the dry fence line, the bare trees, the fields that used to be full when Mom was alive. Then he said, "This land is the payment." I felt something snap inside me. Not anger, not yet, more like a desperate need to protect. "This land is our life," I said. He shrugged once. "Debt doesn't care." I clenched my hands. "What does he owe?" I asked, even though I knew. Sloane unfolded the paper slowly and read it out like a judge. $7,000, plus fees, plus late time. My breath caught. 7,000 might as well be a mountain. We didn't have it, not even close. Sloane folded the paper again. "Sign over the deed," he said, "or I take him." My blood turned cold. "Take him," I whispered. Sloane's voice stayed calm. "The man who owns the debt wants a body if he can't get land." I stared at him. "A body?" I repeated. Sound like my brain couldn't fit around the word. Sloane didn't blink. "You heard me." I felt sick. My father wasn't a bad man. He just made bad choices. He borrowed money when the crops failed. He promised he'd pay after harvest. Then harvest died. Then Mom died. Then everything got worse. And now a man with a gun was at my door, talking about taking my father like he was a sack of wheat. My eyes stung. "Please," I said, and the word tasted bitter. "He's sick." Sloane's gaze flicked to my face, and then to my shaking hands. For a tiny moment, something almost human passed through his eyes. Almost. Then it vanished. "Not my problem," he said. I hated him right then. I hated his calm voice. I hated his boots on my porch. I hated that he didn't have to feel what I was feeling. But hate didn't fix anything. I needed a plan, a smart plan, a plan that didn't exist. I took a shaky breath and said, "Give me time." He shook his head once. "No." My heart sank. "I can work," I said quickly. I can pay." Sloane cut me off. "Not fast enough." He stepped forward again. This time he reached for the door. My whole body tensed. If he goes inside, it's over. And then, the strangest thing happened. My mind went very quiet, like everything inside me stopped screaming and started choosing. I looked at him and said, "What if I give you something else?" Sloane paused. His hand stopped on the door frame. His eyes narrowed, careful now. "Like what?" he asked. I swallowed. My voice came out small, but clear. "Me." He blinked once, just once. "Explain," he said. My heartbeat slammed. This was crazy. This was dangerous. But the thought was already out of my mouth, and now it was standing on the porch with us. I took a step closer, forcing myself not to shake too much. "I will marry you," I said. The wind seemed to stop. Even the house creaks went quiet like it was listening. Sloane stared at me like I had turned into a different person. "You'll—" "What?" he asked. "Marry you," I repeated. My throat felt tight, but I kept going. "You get the deed. Not the debt man. You get the land." Sloane's eyes flicked sharp. "And what do you get?" I lifted my chin. "I keep my father safe," I said, "and I keep this house." Sloane looked at me like he was weighing a gold bar in his mind. He didn't smile. He didn't laugh. That scared me, because if he laughed, it meant he thought it was silly. But his silence meant he was considering it. He finally said, "Why would I do that?" "Because," my voice cracked, then steadied, "because you don't look like a man who likes being used." His eyes narrowed further. I continued fast now, like running before fear caught me. "You came to collect, but you can also choose how. If you take my father, you hurt a sick old man. If you take the land, you throw me out. But if you marry me," I swallowed hard, "you get both, and you don't have to answer to the debt man anymore." Sloane stared. Then he said slowly, "You think marriage is a business deal?" I flinched, because yes, right now, yes it was, but I couldn't say that. So I said, "I think marriage is protection." His jaw tightened a little. He looked away for a second, toward the fields, then back at me. "You don't know me," he said. "I know what you are," I whispered, "a man who takes what's owed." His eyes flashed. "Oh?" he said. "And what am I owed, Lena Hart?" My face went hot. The way he said my name felt like a rope tightening, and I forced myself to breathe. "I don't mean it like that," I said quickly. He stepped closer. Now he was so close I could see a thin scar near his jaw. His voice dropped. "Be careful," he said, "because if you offer yourself, you can't take it back." My stomach twisted, but I couldn't back down. Not now. Not with my father coughing behind me like time was running out. So I said, "Then don't take me like a thief." I looked right at him. "Take me like a husband." Sloane froze. His eyes changed again. Not soft, not kind, but unsettled, like he wasn't used to someone speaking to him like that. He was used to fear. He was used to begging, but I was not begging. I was bargaining with my whole life. He exhaled slowly through his nose. Then he said, "If I say yes, it won't be love." I nodded quickly. "I'm not asking for love," I lied, because deep inside, a tiny part of me whispered, maybe one day, maybe, if he's not all stone. But I shoved that thought away. Love was a luxury. Survival was the price. Sloane held my gaze. Then he said something that made my skin go cold. "If I marry you, you belong to me." My chest tightened. I hated those words, but I needed this. So I said, "And if you don't, my father belongs to the debt man." Sloane stared at me for a long moment. The wind started again, soft and eerie. A crow cried in the distance. Then Sloane said, "Bring your father out." My heart dropped. "No," I said fast. "He's too weak." Sloane's eyes turned hard again. "I'm not asking," he said. "If I'm going to do this, I want him to hear the deal." Fear shot through me. Because what if my father says no? What if he gets angry? What if he feels ashamed and refuses, and then Sloane takes him anyway? I turned toward the door. My hand shook on the knob. My stomach felt like it was full of stones. And behind me, Sloane's voice came low and dangerous. "Lena," he said, "if you're playing me..." I snapped my head around. "I'm not," I said, almost too loud. Then, softer, unlike a confession, "I'm just trying not to lose everything." Sloane's face didn't change much, but his eyes held mine for a second longer than before. Then he said, "Go." I stepped inside. The house smelled like old blankets and cough syrup. I walked down the hallway, my legs shaky. My father was in the back room, lying on the bed. His skin looked pale. His eyes were tired. When he saw my face, he tried to sit up. "Lena, what is it?" he asked. I couldn't breathe right. I knelt beside the bed. Daddy," I whispered. "A man is here." His eyes widened. "The debt?" he croaked. Tears burned my eyes. "Yes." He tried to get up. He coughed hard. I put my hands on his shoulders. "Please," I said, "don't fight. Just listen." His eyes searched my face like he could sense something was wrong. "What did you do?" he whispered. My voice trembled. I did what I had to do. And then I helped him stand, slowly, step by step, toward the front door. Each step felt like walking toward a cliff. A background suggestion, tense strings rise, heartbeat like drum. SFX, slow footsteps, cough, porch boards creak again. When we reached the doorway, Sloan was still there, waiting, calm, like time belonged to him. My father looked at Sloan, and his face tightened with shame. "Mercy," my father whispered. "Please." Sloan didn't move. "I'm not Mercy," he said. "I'm Mercer." My father flinched like the words hit him. Sloan held out the paper. "You owe," Sloan said. My father's shoulders slumped. "I know," he whispered. "I tried." Sloan cut him off. "Trying doesn't pay." Then my father looked at me, and that's when he noticed something in my eyes, something final, something too serious. "Lena," he whispered, "what did you promise?" My throat closed. I couldn't speak, but Sloan did. He turned his head slightly and said, like it was nothing, "Your daughter offered to marry me." My father's face went blank. Then he whispered, "No." A single word, weak but fierce. He grabbed my arm. "Lena, no, don't do that." My heart shattered a little, because I wanted him to say yes. I wanted him to accept so I could save him. But he was still my father, still trying to protect me, even now. I squeezed his hand. "Daddy," I whispered, "we have no money." He shook his head, coughing. "I'd rather go," he said, "than sell you." Sloan watched us, like he was watching a storm inside a bottle. Then he said something sharp. "You won't go," Sloan said. "The debt man doesn't want an old sick body. He wants pain. He wants fear. He'll hurt her to hurt you." My father froze, because he knew it was true. I leaned closer to my father and whispered, "This is the only way I can keep you here." My father's eyes filled with tears. "No," he whispered again. I swallowed hard and whispered back, "Yes." And then I looked at Sloan. My voice shook, but I forced it steady. "Do we have a deal?" Sloan stared at me for a long, heavy moment. Then he reached into his coat. My breath caught. What is he pulling out? A gun? A new paper? A trap? But he pulled out something else. A small silver badge, a bounty badge. He held it up between us, and with a cold, flat voice he said, "If we do this, you do it my way." Then he leaned in slightly, eyes locked on mine. "And my way," he whispered, "comes with enemies." My stomach dropped. "Enemies? What enemies?" Then he added very quietly, and like a knife sliding out, "The man who owns your father's debt won't like losing." SFX, distant thunder rumble, even though the sky is clear. I stared at Sloan. My father squeezed my arm. The wind hissed across the porch again, and in that moment, I understood something terrifying. This wasn't the end of trouble. This was the beginning. Because if Sloan married me to take the deed, then the debt man would come for blood, and the first person he would punish would be me. Sloan slid the paper toward my father to sign, and my father's hand hovered over it, shaking. Then Sloan looked at me and said, "Say it out loud, Lena. Say you choose me." And right as I opened my mouth, a horse screamed in the distance, a sharp, panicked sound. Then a gunshot cracked the air. Bang! And Sloan's head snapped toward the road. His hand flew to his weapon. "Stay inside," he barked. My blood turned to ice. Who was out there, and why were they already shooting? The gunshot still rang in my ears. Bang! Like the sky itself had cracked open. Sloan's hand was already on his gun, not shaking, not guessing, like he had been born ready. "Inside," he snapped again, louder. My father tried to step back, but his knees bent like wet wood. I grabbed him fast. "Daddy," I whispered. Sloan didn't look at us. His eyes stayed on the road. "Move," he said through his teeth. "Now." I pulled my father into the house. The door slammed. The latch clicked. And my heart thumped so hard it hurt. We stood in the dark hallway listening. No more shots, just wind, just the old house groaning, just my father breathing like he ran a long race. Then Sloan's boots hit the porch again, heavy, quick. He didn't come in right away. He paced once, twice, like a wolf circling a trap. Then he spoke, not to us, to the night. "You missed," he called out. His voice was calm, too calm. "Try again if you've got the stomach." My skin crawled. Who was out there? Was it the debt man already? Was it a neighbor? Was it someone angry at Sloan? My father clutched my arm. His fingers were cold. "Lena," he whispered, "this is my fault." I looked at his tired face. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry, but I couldn't. I needed to be strong, like a rope holding up a roof. I whispered back, "Just stay quiet." Then from outside, a new sound. Hoofbeats, fast, then slower, then stopped. A man's voice floated through the wind, rough, mean, smiling. "I'm Mercer," the voice called. "You got yourself a bride?" My stomach dropped. That voice did not sound like town folk. It sounded like trouble that travels. Sloan answered without raising his voice. "Go home," he said. "You're not welcome here." The man outside laughed. A nasty laugh. "Not welcome?" he said. "You don't own this land yet." Sloan's voice went colder. "I will," he said. "Real soon." A pause. Then the man outside said, "Debt man says hello." My lungs tightened. Debt man. So it was true. He heard. He came. But how? How was he so fast? Unless he was already watching us. I felt dizzy. My father's hand squeezed my arm harder. Sloan said, "Tell him he lost." The man outside spat on the ground. I could hear it. "Not how it works," the man said. "He don't lose. He collects." Sloan stepped closer to the door, like he could see through it. "You shot at my horse," Sloan said. "That's stupid." The man laughed again. It was a message. Sloan's tone changed. It turned sharp. "Give me the message." The man's voice went lower. "The message is, if you marry that girl to steal the deed, the debt man will take payment from her skin." I covered my mouth without thinking. My eyes filled with tears. My father made a broken sound behind me, like a sob got stuck in his chest. Sloan didn't answer for a long moment. Then he said, very quiet, very deadly, "Tell him, if he touches her, I'll bury him where no one prays." Silence, wind. And then the man outside chuckled like he didn't believe Sloan. "Big talk," he said, "but you ain't God, Mercer. You're just a man with a gun." Sloan said, "And you're just a man standing in the open." Then, another shot. Bang. This time it hit the porch post. Wood exploded. I screamed. My father fell to his knees. Sloan moved like lightning. The door flew open. Cold air rushed in. And Sloan fired back. Bang, Bang! My ears rang. My heart felt like it would burst. I crawled to my father, wrapping my arms around him. "Daddy, breathe," I whispered, "please." Outside, hooves thundered. The man yelled, "Next time it's her." Then the hoofbeats ran away into the dark. Fast, gone. Sloan stood on the porch, gun still raised, eyes scanning the road. He didn't chase. He didn't shout. He just listened, like he could smell danger. Then he slowly lowered his gun. He turned back toward me, toward my father on the floor, and for the first time, I saw something crack in Sloan's face. Not softness, but responsibility, like he suddenly realized he had pulled us into a bigger storm. He stepped inside and shut the door. His voice was quiet now. "Get your father into bed." I stared at him. "You shot back," I said, my voice shaking. Sloan nodded once. "He wanted fear," Sloan said. "I gave him pain." My father wheezed, trying to stand. Sloan reached down and lifted him like my father weighed nothing. My father flinched at the touch, but Sloan didn't hurt him. He carried him down the hallway and laid him on the bed with careful hands. That surprised me. I expected rough. I expected cold. But his hands were controlled, like he knew how to handle broken things. My father coughed and whispered, Why are they here?" Sloan looked at him. "Because you borrowed from a man who likes ownership," Sloan said. "Not money." My father shut his eyes. Tears leaked out. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Sloan didn't comfort him, but he didn't insult him either. He just said, "We fix it tonight." I blinked. "Tonight?" I echoed. Sloan turned to me. His eyes pinned me in place. "Yes," he said, "tonight." My voice trembled. "How?" Sloan pulled the folded paper from his coat again. The deed transfer. He laid it on the small table like it was a weapon. "You offered marriage," he said. "You meant it?" My throat tightened. This was the moment where words become real. I looked at my father. He looked back, eyes begging me not to do it. My chest hurt. But then I remembered the man outside. Next time, it's her. I turned to Sloan. "Yes," I said. Sloan watched me like he was searching for a lie. Then he said, "Good." He reached into his bag and pulled out a small ink pen. Then something else. A simple gold ring. Plain. Worn. Not fancy. I stared at it. "Where did you get that?" I whispered. Sloan's jaw tightened. "I keep it," he said, "for problems that need a quick door." A chill ran through me. So he had done this before? Not marriage like love, marriage like a lock. I swallowed. How many times? Sloan's eyes hardened. "Don't ask things you don't want answers to," he said. My stomach sank, but I nodded. Because we had no time for pride. Sloan looked around the room. "We need a witness," he said. "A witness?" I repeated. Sloan nodded. "Someone to say the words were said. Someone living." My mind raced. Who? We didn't have family close. Most neighbors stayed away from us now, after the debt whispers. And then I remembered. Mrs. Alder. She lived down the road, old, bold, always watching, and she hated the debt man because he once took her brother's farm. "Yes," I said quickly. "Mrs. Alder." Sloan's eyes narrowed. "Is she loyal?" "She's stubborn," I said. "That's close." Sloan nodded. "Go." I hesitated. "Go now?" Sloan's voice went hard. "Yes, before they come back." Fear pushed me forward. I grabbed my shawl. Then Sloan grabbed my wrist. His grip was strong but not painful. He leaned close. His voice dropped low. "Listen," he said. "From this moment, you do what I say when danger is near. You understand?" I stared at him. I wanted to say, "Don't order me." But the porch post was still splintered, and my father was coughing in bed. So I whispered, "Yes." Sloane nodded once and let me go. I ran, out the back door, across the cold ground. The night air bit my cheeks. The stars looked sharp like needles. Every sound made me flinch. A branch crack, a distant owl, my own breathing. When I reached Mrs. Alder's house, I banged on her door like my life depended on it, because it did. She opened it with a lamp in hand. Her gray hair was in a tight bun. Her eyes were sharp. "What in God's—" she started. Then she saw my face. She leaned in. "What happened?" she asked. I swallowed, trying not to cry. "It's the debt man," I whispered. "He sent someone. They shot at us." Mrs. Alder's mouth went thin. "I knew that devil wouldn't stop," she hissed. Then I said the next words fast. "I need you to witness something." She stared. "Witness what?" My throat tightened. "A marriage," I whispered. Her eyebrows jumped. "A what?" "A marriage," I repeated. "Right now, please." Mrs. Alder's lamp shook a little. She stared at me like I had grown horns. Then she said, "To who?" I swallowed. "To Sloane Mercer." Mrs. Alder's eyes widened. Then her face twisted. "That bounty hunter?" she whispered. "That cold man?" I nodded, tears burning. "It's the only way," I said. "Please." "Mrs." And Alder stared at me for a long moment. Then she set the lamp down hard. "Get your shawl tighter," she snapped. "We're going." We hurried back. The wind followed us like it was curious. When we reached my house, Sloane was outside checking the road, gun ready. When he saw Mrs. Alder, he nodded once. "Good," he said. Mrs. Alder lifted her chin. "I don't like you," she said. Sloane replied, "You're not marrying me." Mrs. Alder huffed. "Fair." We went inside. My father tried to sit up again. His voice broke. "Lena, don't." I went to him and held his hand. My fingers trembled. "Daddy," I whispered, "I'm not doing this because I want to." He squeezed weakly. "I know," he whispered, crying. "That's what hurts." I kissed his forehead. Then I stood. Sloane placed the ring on the table. Mrs. Alder looked between us. "Do you love him?" she asked me, blunt as a hammer. I almost laughed from pain. "No," I whispered. Mrs. Alder turned to Sloane. "Do you love her?" she asked. Sloane's jaw tightened. "No," he said. Mrs. Alder let out a sharp breath. "Then what is this?" she demanded. Sloane's eyes flicked to the window. "To keep her alive," he said. The room went quiet. Even my father stopped coughing for a second. Mrs. Alder's face softened just a tiny bit. She nodded slowly. "Then we do it," she said. "Now." She cleared her throat. She looked at me. "Lena Hart," she said, "do you take Sloane Mercer as your husband?" My chest rose and fell fast. I looked at Sloane. His face was still stone, but his eyes were locked on me, like he was watching to see if I would run. I almost did. Then I remembered the words. "Next time, it's her." I swallowed. "I do," I said. My voice cracked, but it came out. Mrs. Alder looked at Sloane. "Sloane Mercer," she said, "do you take Lena Hart as your wife?" Sloane didn't answer right away. He looked at me. Then he said, low and firm, "I do." Mrs. Alder nodded once, satisfied. "Put the ring on her," she said. Sloane picked up the ring. His fingers brushed mine. Cold skin, warm touch. A strange jolt went through me. He slid the ring onto my finger. It was a little loose. It felt heavy anyway, like a chain made of gold. Then Mrs. Alder said, "Now kiss." My whole body stiffened. "Kiss?" I squeaked. Mrs. Alder stared like I was stupid. "Yes," she said, "so no one can say it's fake." I looked at Sloane. My face burned. Sloane's eyes narrowed slightly. Then he stepped close. So close I could see the tiny lines near his eyes. He spoke only for me to hear. "Don't shake," he whispered. They'll smell fear. I whispered back, I'm not scared of you. His mouth twitched, almost a smile. Good, he murmured. Be scared of the men coming. Then he lifted a hand and cupped the side of my face. My breath caught. His hand was rough, calloused, real. He leaned in and he kissed me, not soft, not sweet, but not cruel either. It was quick, firm, like stamping a document. Yet my stomach flipped, because it was warm, because it was real, because I suddenly understood this man could hurt people, but he could also hold you steady when the world shakes. He pulled back. Mrs. Alder nodded. Done, she said. Now sign the papers. Sloane handed the pen to my father. My father's hand shook as he signed. Tears fell onto the paper. Then Sloane signed. Then Mrs. Alder signed. Sloane folded the papers and slid them into his coat. He looked at me. You're my wife, he said, like he was testing the words. Then his eyes turned sharp. And that means you're a target. My stomach dropped. Sloane moved to the window, peeking through the crack in the curtain. Mrs. Alder whispered, What now? Sloane's voice was low. Now we wait, he said, because they'll come back when they realize they lost. My breath hitched. How soon? I whispered. Sloane didn't look away from the window. Soon enough, he said. Then outside, a soft sound, not a hoof, not a shout, a scrape. I like metal on wood. My blood turned cold. Sloane's head snapped toward the front door. His hand went to his gun. He whispered one word that made my stomach fall through the floor. Match. SFX, tiny scratch, then the faint fwoom of flame. And through the bottom crack of the front door, orange light started to crawl in, like fire was smiling. Sloane's voice went deadly calm. They're trying to burn the house. He looked at me. Then he looked at my father in bed. Then he said, very quietly, if we run, they chase. If we stay, we fight. And before I could answer, the door handle began to turn from the outside, slowly, carefully, like someone was coming in while the house was starting to burn. The door handle turned, slow, careful, like the person outside already believed we were trapped. Orange light crawled across the floorboards. Smoke slid under the door. I couldn't breathe right. Sloane, I whispered. He didn't answer. He was already moving. He grabbed the water bucket near the stove and kicked it hard across the floor. Blankets, he ordered. Now. My body moved before my fear could freeze it. I yanked quilts from the beds. Mrs. Alder soaked them in the bucket, hands shaking but fast. My father coughed hard behind us. Thick smoke reached the hallway. Then, the door burst open, not kicked, opened, and a man stepped inside. Same voice, same cruel smile, the rider from before. He held a pistol and a torch. Evening, he said casually, like he came for tea. My heart stopped. He looked straight at me. There she is, he said softly. Debt payment. Sloane stepped in front of me instantly. The man grinned wider. Oh, husband already protecting. He mocked. Sloane's voice dropped low. You made a mistake coming inside. The man laughed. No, he said. You did. You picked a fight with a man who owns half this county. Smoke thickened. Flames began licking the porch outside. The rider pointed his gun. I step aside, he told Sloane. Girl comes with me. I grabbed Sloane's coat without thinking. My hands shook. Sloane didn't move, not even a step. You want her? Sloane said calmly. Come take her. The man raised his pistol. For one terrifying second, no one moved. Then the gun fired. Bang! But Sloane was faster. He shoved me sideways. The bullet hit the wall behind where my head had been. Plaster exploded. Mrs. Alder screamed. Sloane fired back. Bang! The rider stumbled. He dropped the torch. Fire spread across the rug instantly. The man clutched his shoulder, cursing, and ran back out into the flames and darkness. Hoofbeats gone. Silence. Only fire now. Big fire. Hungry fire. The porch roof caught. Wood cracked loudly. "Back door!" Sloan shouted. Smoke filled the room fast. My father tried to stand but collapsed. "I can't," he wheezed. I panicked. "He can't walk." Sloan didn't hesitate. He lifted my father over his shoulder, like a soldier, like he had done this before. "Or stay close," he told me. We pushed into the smoke. My eyes burned. I couldn't see, only orange light and black air. Heat slapped my skin. The ceiling creaked, then crack. A beam fell in the hallway, right where we had been standing seconds ago. I gasped. We stumbled to the back door. Mrs. Alder coughed hard, barely standing. I grabbed her arm. "Don't stop." We burst outside. Cold night air hit my lungs. I dropped to my knees coughing. Behind us, the house burned. Flames climbed the roof. Windows shattered. Everything we owned, everything Mom left, gone. I stared, tears running down my face. "My home," I whispered. Sloan laid my father gently on the ground. He turned back toward the fire, eyes sharp. He wasn't watching the house. He was watching the dark, because the men could still come back. I realized something terrible. They burned it because of me, I said. Sloan shook his head once. "No," he said, "because of me." I looked at him. His jaw was tight. They wanted the land. Now they want revenge. Mrs. Alder coughed. "Where do we go now?" The wind blew sparks into the sky. Sloan looked at the burning house, then at me, and he said something I didn't expect. "You come with me." I blinked. "Where?" "My place," he said. My stomach twisted. His place. I barely knew him. I was now his wife, but I didn't know his life, or his enemies. I whispered, "Are we safe there?" Sloan looked toward the road. "No," he said honestly. Then he looked back at me. "But safer than here." My father weakly grabbed my hand. "Go," he whispered. "Please go with him." My heart hurt. I didn't want to leave him, but he squeezed my fingers. "You saved me," he said. "Now let him save you." Sloan crouched beside me. His voice softened slightly. "I gave my word," he said. "You're under my protection now." Protection. The word felt heavy and strangely comforting. I nodded. "Okay." Sloan whistled once. A dark horse trotted from behind the trees, alive. I blinked in shock. "They didn't shoot him?" I asked. Sloan shook his head. "They tried." He helped me onto the horse, then helped Mrs. Alder onto a wagon nearby. He secured my father gently in blankets. Before climbing up, he paused beside me. For the first time, he hesitated. Then he said quietly, "You can still leave." I frowned. "Leave?" He nodded. "You married me for survival. You don't owe me your life." I stared at him. My chest felt tight. The fire glowed behind us. The past was burning, and the future was sitting in front of me on a saddle. I shook my head slowly. "I already chose," I said. His eyes held mine, longer than before. Something changed in them. Not cold now, not just duty. Something warmer, not love, but the beginning of it. He climbed up behind me on the horse. We started riding. The burning house shrank behind us. The night swallowed the road. After a long silence, I asked softly, "Why did you really say yes?" Sloan was quiet for several seconds, and only hoofbeats answered. Then he said, "Because when you stood in that doorway, you weren't afraid for yourself." I swallowed. "You were afraid for your father," he continued. "I've seen hundreds of people beg, but you bargained." He paused. "People who protect others are rare." My heart fluttered. "And you?" I asked. Why are you like this? He exhaled slowly. Once, he said, someone protected me. I failed to protect them back. His voice tightened. I don't make that mistake twice. I didn't ask more. I understood. We rode under the stars. Then I whispered, Sloan, yes? Are we going to survive this? He didn't answer right away. Then he said, I don't know. My stomach sank. Then he added, but I know this. His arm tightened slightly around the reins beside me. They won't take you while I'm breathing. For the first time since the knock on the door, I felt safe, not because danger was gone, because I wasn't alone anymore. Yeah, I leaned back slightly against him and quietly said, then I'm glad I married you. He didn't respond, but his hand moved just a little closer to mine on the saddle horn, and he didn't pull away. Background music softens, hopeful but uncertain. Behind us, the house collapsed into sparks. Ahead of us, the dark road stretched long, and somewhere out there, the debt man was waiting. But now, he wasn't hunting a helpless girl. He was hunting a husband and wife, together. At the end, did it end well? Yes, and no. They lost their home. They gained each other. And sometimes, survival becomes the first step toward love.